here with head coach Vance Winter to preview the 2016 Concordia football season. A lot of times when we've done this, it's been before Media Day. You feel like you learn anything from that atmosphere, or what do you get out of Media Day?
It's always good to get together. I think it is it's a symbol of football season getting close, and I think that's the excitement level for all the. I know you counted the amount of times excited was said, and I think that's pretty much the general theme of Media Day is everybody's excited to get going.
What are some of the biggest takeaways from the spring season and summer workouts that you've noticed that make you feel good about this team and the year ahead?
I like our group. I like the senior leadership and leadership throughout our team. I like Coach Berner's strength program. I think the things that he's done with our strength program and in developing more functional football players, more athletic football players. I think that aspect of our program is something that we haven't had. We've always had guys that have worked their tails off and worked hard, but I think Coach Berner and a lot of the science to it. I think the mindset and the mentality of the group is very upbeat and positive and excited to get going.
You look at this senior class, you've got a lot of guys who've been all conference, who have experience now, looking at guys like Trey Barnes and Bryce Collins and Dontre Gooden, Seth Fitzke, Michael Headland, the list goes on. Since you've been here, is this maybe a senior class that perhaps is unrivaled? Yeah,
this is it's a great recruiting class. I think those guys really bought into culture here, bought into being students here, and enjoyed their experience here as students, but also came here to Concordia and wanted to make a mark and leave a legacy. I think this group is a really talented group, but also when you sit there and talk about talented group, these are also great guys. And there's guys that have come here from different reasons, for different experiences. It's fun to see them all mesh and become a family.
Trey Barnes really had his coming out party last year. Why was he such a good fit at defensive end?
Well, I mean, we saw it real quickly that from an athletic ability standpoint, he combines great athletic ability with really explosive power, and change of direction ability. It's his change of direction ability. It's a pain to go against in spring. I know that from a coaching offensive line perspective. And you really appreciate it when you get to see it on a day-by-day basis. And he's worked really hard at it. And we're excited for his senior year for sure.
Another senior on the other side of the ball. I know Bryce Collins. A lot of people will mention him when in those 20 questions as far as who's the hardest worker on the team. He's been a key part of the offense every year he's been here. Just how important has he been in your success and potential success this season?
He's been an everyday guy. Ever since he showed up, he's been very reliable, very accountable, a guy you could, you trust his work ethic every day. I think, like I said at Media Day, I think our offense, really off of his ability and the way he works, I think that's something that really motivates our offense too. And they see a guy that really cares, really competes, and is willing to do whatever it takes for the team. And that's Bryce. He combines that also. I think we talk about work ethic and all those things, but he's really talented. He's a guy that gets everything out of his ability too.
At the quarterback position, you talked about both T.J. Austin and Riley Wiltfong. What kind of skills do they bring to the table that makes you comfortable and with the idea of playing both guys?
Well, I think the main thing is, if they were I think there's such differences between the two. I think T.J. is always going to be a guy, and he's always really more impressive in the 11-on-11 scenarios where you have to tackle him, you have to do stuff like that. He's such a physical presence on the field. Where Riley, he does more of the passing game type things. He might be a little bit more comfortable in some of those things. They're so different in their strengths. If they were very similar, then you'd like to try to find one guy. But they're so different. I think both of them can add great things to our offense. I think they've both gotten better and improving on whatever they were weak at. And you know, I think this fall camp we want to see the continued progression and kind of see where we're at. I think both of them have proven they can play. Both of them have proven they can win and be great players for us. So we're excited to see their development.
Well, the fullback is not a guy who often gets talked about. It's sort of a dying position in a lot of college football programs. But you've talked about how Eric Small has really come on. In what ways will he be involved in the offense? Eric
Small's he's a dude. He's a grown man playing football, and we love the physical aspect. He brings everything from a physical aspect type stuff. He's a great one-on-one blocker, very physical, can dominate at the point of attack, gets movement. You know, he's not going to be the most comfortable guy catching the ball and doing all those kind of things, but man, I just love how he plays. I love how he finishes blocks. I love how on the point of impact he wins, and he's worked really hard. He's in great shape, looks great. He's the kind of physical fullback that you have to have in our type of offense.
You got a lot of starters back on both sides of the ball, but I know linebacker is a spot you actually do lose a lot to graduation with 3 of the 4 starters gone. How big is it to have Michael Hedlund back, and you know, how important is his presence for the rest of that group?
You know, I think Michael, I don't know if he gets enough credit, but he's one of our best football players. I think he, you know, last year to see his progression from spring into the season, how he took a leadership role, the way he just competes. I mean, you know, for the amount of tackles he had, and honestly, defensively, we had a pretty good defense last year. The amount of tackles he had, you know, usually a guy that has a ton of tackles is not playing on a very good defense. That just tells you the volume, range, and the type of plays he is. And then the other thing is Michael's such an every down guy, we never want to have him off the field. He has to be in great shape because he's a guy that we're going to expect to be on the field because he's a difference maker in every kicking game unit. He's just an outstanding football player. The other guys at linebacker position, man, we like that group. You know, they're pretty untested, but man, there's some talent in that group. We're expecting great things out of those guys and have a similar story as we had last year. I thought we had a lot of guys that were unproven step up and play well last year. Other than Tate, you know, there's some guys there that are going to get an opportunity. I think they're going to perform well.
2 of the last 3 years, you've had a defense that finished in the top 5 of the country in terms of total defense. How do you feel like this 2016 group compares to those?
You know, every year's different. I think, you know, we have a lot of guys returning, but you're improving grounds on Saturdays. We really like our group. We think they're wired right. We think they play the right way. You know, I was really impressed in spring with some of the things that were happening in spring, and just watching them live on a day-by-day basis. We got a lot of athletic ability, a lot of speed. Feel like we're going to be able to cover people. You know, we've got good players. Like I said at media today, we've got good players at every level of our defense. You know, a big thing is just consistency. You know, you have to be a dominant D, you have to be a D that travels. Okay, so I think that group has a chance to be in that upper tier.
We talked a little bit about this kind of stuff at signing day with recruiting, but the process has really changed a lot. You had 50 pledges by National Signing Day. What do you attribute that such an increase in numbers to these days?
I give a lot of credit to our coaching staff and identifying guys earlier. I think we got out earlier and earlier and visited high schools, and we got some campus visits earlier. You know, everything has sped up. Everything has sped up. I also attribute it to, I think, our players are our best recruiters. When people come on our campus and they get a chance to meet our guys, meet the type of guys that constitute the leadership of our team, they are impressed, and they want to become a part of it. And that's, to me, that's been the huge difference too. Is getting guys on campus, showing them our facilities, showing them the type of education they're going to get, and then also our best recruiters are the guys on our team, and the type of family atmosphere that we have.
After Wesleyan left the league, the conference had to shake up the schedule a little bit, and you end up with Northwestern, Doane, and Morningside to open up GPAC play. You ever remember having to run a gauntlet like that to start the conference?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great schedule. You know, you start thinking about, you know, when you start looking at our league and you start looking at everybody else's schedule too. I mean, everybody runs a gauntlet. The cream rises to the top. I mean, you got to be able to lock in and play great football. We got to get started on August 12th and have a real focused group and get rolling and get better on a day-by-day basis. And then on Saturdays, you know, I feel real comfortable if we're the best version of us, we're going to have a great shot to beat any team on our schedule. We just have to make sure that's a focus for us, that we're playing great football and that we have the capabilities to play. We've shown we have the capabilities. We got to be more consistent about it.